Welcome to ValorMindx, and here we explore powerful ideas to sharpen your mind and transform your life. If you're ready to grow stronger What if I told you that one man's obsession with perfection changed the way you live, work, and even think? A man who turned a garage startup into the world's most powerful tech empire. A man who didn't just build computers, he built a new way of seeing the world. His name was Steve Jobs. And whether you're an Apple fan or not, your life has been touched by his vision. Think about it. Every time you swipe your phone, scroll through your music, or stare at a sleek device that just works, that's his fingerprint. But behind that success, there was pain, rejection, and a fire that refused to die. Because Steve Jobs wasn't just a businessman. He was a rebel, a dreamer, a man who dared to tell the world, think different. So today, let's talk about what made Steve Jobs the man who changed technology forever, and what you can learn from him to change your own life. Lesson 1. Obsession creates mastery. Steve Jobs wasn't interested in being good. He wanted perfection, down to the tiniest detail. When he designed the first Macintosh, he cared about the inside of the computer, the parts no one would ever see. His engineers thought he was crazy, but Jobs believed that excellence isn't about what people notice. It's about what you know you gave your best to. That mindset, to never settle, is why Apple products feel so different. They're not just tools, they're experiences. And that came from one man's refusal to compromise. So ask yourself, where in your life are you cutting corners? Because the truth is, mastery doesn't come from talent. It comes from obsession. Lesson 2. Rejection can be a blessing. Here's something wild. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company, Apple, the company he started in his garage. Imagine that, building something from nothing, only to be kicked out of it. Most people would have given up, but not Jobs. He called that period the best thing that ever happened to him, because it forced him to start over, smarter, hungrier, freer. During that time, he founded Pixar, yes, the animation studio behind Toy Story, and another company called Next. Both became game changers. And when Apple eventually bought Next, he returned not as a broken man, but as a stronger leader ready to make history. So the next time life kicks you out of your own dream, remember this: rejection doesn't end your story. It just edits the plot. Lesson 3. Simplicity is the ultimate power. Most people think innovation means adding more, but Jobs knew that real genius is in taking things away. He once said, Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean. Think about the first iPhone. No buttons, no manuals, just one screen. That's not lack of creativity, that's clarity, and that's a lesson for all of us. Whether you're designing something, building a business, or just trying to get your life together, complexity kills focus. Simplify, cut the noise, because clarity creates confidence. Lesson 4. Vision is everything. Steve Jobs didn't just make products, he made movements. He didn't ask, what do people want right now? He asked, what will they want even before they know it? That's vision. He saw a world where technology wasn't cold and complicated. It was human, emotional, and beautiful. That's why people lined up for hours outside Apple stores. Not just to buy a phone, but to be part of something bigger. And that's what separates dreamers from doers. Dreamers talk about the future, doers create it. So what's your vision? Because if you don't define it, someone else will. One conclusion plus takeaway. When you look at Steve Jobs' journey, it's easy to see only the success, the money, the fame, the black turtlenecks. But behind it all was a man who failed, who struggled, who demanded excellence, and who believed that one person could change the world through pure vision and relentless effort. And maybe that's the real lesson here. You don't need to invent the next iPhone to make an impact. You just need to believe that your ideas matter and have the guts to bring them to life. So here's your takeaway. Be obsessed with your craft. Use failure as your fuel. Simplify your life until your vision shines through. And don't just follow the world, reshape it. Because, as Steve Jobs once said, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. If this story sparked something in you, if it made you think differently about your own potential, then don't let it end here. Drop a comment below and tell me what your dream is. Hit that like button if you're ready to stop settling for average. And subscribe if you want more stories that remind you what's possible when you refuse to give up. Remember, you don't have to be Steve Jobs to change the world. You just have to start thinking like him. Because one day, someone might look back at your story and say, you were the one who changed everything.